Well, hello, everyone. It's time for the Let's Go Oilers edition of Up Close and Personal, episode number 31. Today we'll be talking about the Oilers and an interview with our grade 4 teachers, talking about some of the neat things that they've been doing with distance learning, with remote learning. We'll also talk about some of the things that parents will want to know in terms of school for summer and the fall. And we've got some pictures of students working at home. As well, we'll talk about the talent show. Okay, so let's get going. Okay, summer school. People have been asking about summer school. Is there going to be summer school or not? And on one of the press conferences, you may have heard the premier kind of mention this, that, not a statement, but just answering a question, and he kind of commented, well, schools may be interested in summer school. That's for schools that haven't been working that hard or have actually closed. We haven't closed. We haven't had classes at school, but the learning is continuing here at SML, and the students have been working hard. The teachers have been working very hard, putting in a lot of long hours to ensure that learning would continue and go on. So we are not looking at having any form of summer school. I mean, we usually don't do summer school anyway, but this year we consider we're still in full school mode, and we will be for a number of weeks yet. So there will be no summer school at SML. Just wanted to put you at ease for those who were wondering about that. Regarding the fall, if you've been watching, no announcement has been made by the province as of yet. Ideally, we'd like to be in the classrooms, school as normal. That's the hope, but we know we have to prepare for other situations as well. It may be that we start the year with regular classes, but if there is a second wave of COVID, a spike in the curve, then it may be that schools throughout the province, or just in a region, or even a single school, are closed for classes, and we go back into remote learning mode. We don't know. We have to prepare for every situation, and that's what we're in the process of doing. We're currently working on some plans for next year, no matter what our situation is. But we do hope that we are back in the classes and it is school as normal, at least as normal as possibly can be. We'll let you know more as we hear things like the various protocols, as the government releases them, hopefully in the next few weeks. We'll let you know more as soon as we know things. Okay? All right. Something we can tell you about is that next year we are going to expand our one-to-one Chromebook system to include the grade 3s. So this year it was grade 4 to 9, and that worked very well. We are very grateful that we started this program, because once we went into remote learning, it made such a difference, knowing that all the students had their devices with them already, and that was great. As we went through this, we realized, it would be helpful if the grade 3s also had Chromebooks. Maybe grade 3 is the grade to start with, and that's the goal for next year. So in next year's school supply list, parents, if your child is in grade 3, their school supply list will include a Chromebook. This way, if we do go back into remote learning, the students have the tools that they need to continue the learning. This was probably the grade we found a little bit tough this year. Mrs. Barron has done wonderful work, and she has taken on the technology with gumption, and we'll have to get her on one of these episodes one of these days. And she is eager to work with students on the Chromebooks next year. So next year, 3 to 9. And parents, we want you to know this now if you have a student in grade 3, so you can prepare for that. You can watch for sales and stuff. If you want suggestions on Chromebooks, feel free to contact the school or me personally. And one thing I would suggest when you're looking to buy a Chromebook, look at how rugged it is. Certain Chromebooks, actually I have one here. I don't know how well you can see this, but this particular Chromebook has kind of a rubber bumper around it, and it's a little more durable. I think it's a little bit splash proof as well. And these Chromebooks move around a lot, so durability is something to think about. Or some of the places like Staples have an insurance policy you can purchase. Might be something to think about. But also, parents, as you may have heard in the news, the child care benefit is being increased for this month, and that's about to come out, I think, today or very, very shortly. Might be something to consider is using that money for the Chromebook so that the child has it next year. Something to think about. But we wanted you to be prepared and know the information going into the fall. Okay, just a reminder that our online talent show is currently on, and we extended the deadline to Friday. Lots of great submissions. Check it out. Check out the ones that are there. And students, if you haven't put a video on, go for it. We want to see what your talents are. We really do. Okay, well, let's move on to the interview portion of our episode here. This week, we have two people that we're interviewing, Ms. Shram White and Mrs. Dressler. They teach our grade 4 class here at SML, and let's see what they've been doing this year during remote learning. Okay, well, today we have two of our grade 4 students with us. We have Ms. Shram White and Mrs. Dressler, and we'll talk a little bit more about some of the things we've been talking about with the other teachers about, how they're adjusting to this new form of learning. So maybe Ms. Shram White, we'll begin with you. What are some of the things that you're doing to ensure that learning still continues even though the students aren't here at school?
Thank you, Pastor Dressler. I think every morning we like to start off with just a morning message that is put on Seesaw for the students and for the parents. And it was just a morning message to kind of say hi, let them know we're thinking about them, and kind of some ideas on what they could be working on for the day. And then every Tuesday and Thursday, we try to do a video meet with them at 10 o'clock so that they can have some interaction. And if they have any questions, then they can come and talk to us. For the month of April, we were doing it every day. But for the month of May, we just noticed that they were starting to become more independent and responsible for their work. So it was really nice to just cut it back to 2 days a week where we get to see them.
So tell me a bit about Seesaw. For those that don't know what Seesaw is, it's not this thing in the playground that you play on. It's a learning platform. Can you tell us a bit about it?
Seesaw is a great platform for communication, and it's great for communication with students and the parents. And so parents can send me a message where it would be just me. And if I send something out, I can send it to either a parent and a student, or I could send it to a group of students, group of parents, or the whole class. And so every morning I try to do a quick, in the beginning it was a bit longer, but I'm starting to be able to cut back my mouth. And so I'm able to do it in about a minute. And it's just to remind them that we love them and we care for them, and we're here for them.
And that's an important point to make, I guess. It's not just about the learning. It's also there's the social, emotional aspect that is naturally a part of school. And now that the kids aren't here, we have to overcome those hurdles as well. So it's a good way for them to connect. Mrs. Dressler, any thoughts? How are you connecting with the students and ensuring their learning continues?
Thanks for asking. It's going well. We're really pleased at how many of our students are engaging in the assignments and activities, and we're really thankful we have Google Classroom and that we had been using it some beforehand so that the kids can help their moms and dads figure out where they need to go, and that they've been very successful at doing it most of the time. Science for me has been a little bit tough, partly because it's new, but also trying to do hands-on things through the computer is hard and a challenge, and you always like to see the kids doing things, but we've been able to share videos and they've done a great job doing building challenges. And we've done something called Flashlight Friday because one of our units is light, and we've had a lot of fun doing little things with our flashlights. both experiments and just some of our other learning and reading activities using our flashlights on Flashlight Friday.
And building forts.
Yes.
Yeah.
Forts and flashlights on Friday.
There you go. We've one of the things the teachers have been trying to do is make use of the students' environments. So if they're at home, then it makes sense to do activities that use some of the materials that are around the home. And I like how each of you brought up a different platform, Seesaw and Google Classroom, and grade 4 is kind of a pivotal year in our school because the younger grades tend to use Seesaw, and the older grades Google Classroom, and grade 4 is kind of that transition year where both platforms are being used, and each of them has their advantages and disadvantages. So I guess I'm just saying we commend you as teachers for taking on this challenge and taking these younger students and carry them through into using some of the more mature digital tools that are out there, like Google Classroom. You're doing a great job with that, and keep it up. Mr. Amwhite, you guys had an interesting experience with the Edmonton Oilers organization. Tell us a bit about that.
Yeah, that was wonderful, and it was very much a highlight during the COVID times. For sure, that will be memorable. So during the year, and it was actually back in January, I had responded to an email and sent out an email to a newer company called Everfi, who were starting to work with the NHL and different hockey teams in trying to create curriculum modules and assignments for the kids. And so we were one that was able to pilot with them, and it was great because I got to work one-on-one with a manager, and we became quite close, and she helped us lots with digital literacy lessons and compassion lessons for the kids, especially with the new day of taking on Chromebooks in our grade 4 class. And so we had entered a contest, and were one of the was the class that won a STEM day with the Edmonton Oilers. And so it was wonderful. They had to do some modules on science and math first, and the math lessons were on angles and just the different ways to pass regarding angles. And then the science was with the surface of an ice and smoothness versus roughness. So it was great. We got to visit with the equipment manager and the ice rink guy who makes sure the surface is flat and ready to go, and the paint that they use. I never even knew that they painted the ice. I knew they painted the lines. I didn't realize they painted the whole ice. And it was fascinating. And even how the kids got so involved, and Noah Lyons just went above and beyond and did all the modules and won the Stanley Cup. And that was great. And then other kids were getting involved in the lessons as well while they were learning. So even a parent had commented that she's like, I didn't even realize that difference of the angles with passing. And we got a surprise visit from Chris Joseph, an alumni from the 90s. And he was great with the kids and interacted really well with them. And
can you guys see me okay? Can you see the whole little course? Yeah. Okay, perfect. All right. Can't go that way because this guy is the defender. He's going to steal my ball. I'm using a laundry ball. So you guys can use whatever you want. I got a laundry ball. I got a big blue ball. I got a cardboard box and a laundry basket. All right. So I want to make sure I go off the boards and into the laundry. We'll see how we do. Maybe I'll get it right the first time. First shot, but just in case.
And hats off to our SML kids, because their courtesy and digital compassion was respectful and interactive and very great with everybody that was online.
Yeah, we started this year with learning all the various components of digital citizenship, and it's part of that is things like digital etiquette and respect, and it's good to see that those lessons paying off now that the kids are more fully immersed in a digital environment, and it's great to see the classroom, the learning go beyond the classroom. Obviously kids are at home right now, but that doesn't mean that it's just their teacher and them learning. Here's an example of bringing in another group, a group that the kids were very interested in the Oilers. So lots of opportunities out there. Sure. Well, any other things you guys would like to throw out that you've been doing and engaging with the students at all?
The kids really love having Google Meet times. So the kids, we can all gather as a class and see one another and share news from the weekend or have a mini lesson. And they really enjoy that time and come together as a group.
Sure. Excellent. And Ms. Schrammwhite, I think you've been traveling around the country a little bit, haven't you, in a virtual way?
Yeah, Flat Shrammy went out for a little visit to each of the students, and they were mailed a letter with a letter and a Flat Shrammy. And so it's been wonderful to see where I've been. I've been in people's pantries, and I've been in people's gerbil cages, and I even took a trip to Oregon. So it's been wonderful to see all the pictures that are coming in where Flat Shrammy's been.
Excellent. And just, connecting with the students and letting them share some of their experiences. All right. Well, thank you very much to the both of you. Like the other teachers on staff, you've really stepped up your game in this kind of unusual environment and doing a great job in terms of reaching out to the students and connecting with the students and giving them opportunities to continue learning the curriculum despite these strange times. So well done. Keep it up. And we look forward to seeing more from you. Thanks very much. All right, thank you very much. And as I said, keep up the great work. It's good to see what's going on with our classes for those of us that don't have students in these various grades. Okay, just a few pictures of students. Here we have a couple of brothers. One on the left, Mom said he had to ask a question and he was running to get the answer, and then he realized, I know the answer, and he plopped down on the ground and finished his work up. And then on the right, we've got a little bit of socks. Maybe socks help with the printing. I don't know, but looks good, stylish too. Lots of students cooking, and this is great to see that they're using their cooking, their baking skills, and I love the heart-shaped pizza. Pizza is one of my favorite meals, so it looks awesome, and it's great to see students doing things beyond just the textbooks as well. And interacting with the little ones. This is probably one of the cutest pictures we've received so far. So good to see the siblings involved as well in the learning. All right, guys. Well, that's it. Our 31st edition of Up Close and Personal. And hopefully we'll be seeing those Oilers on the ice soon on their way to win another Stanley Cup. Take care. We'll see you soon.